The galactic bonding ceremony was the most anticipated event in the Interstellar Academy. Every cycle, cadets from across the known species gathered in the crystalline halls of Station Harmony, hoping to find their combat partner, the one soul whose neural patterns would sync with theirs, creating an unbreakable tactical bond that would make them unstoppable in the field. Akeem stood at the edge of the ceremonial chamber, her scaled hands clasped behind her back. The ridged scars that ran from her left temple down to her jaw caught the blue luminescence of the chamber's energy field, making them seem to glow with an eerie light. She'd long since stopped trying to hide them. What was the point? Everyone saw them anyway. The scars weren't just physical. They were a reminder of the Krulon attack on her homeworld, the fire that had consumed her family's dwelling, the screams that still echoed in her dreams. But more than that, they were a mark of shame in Valorian culture. Survivors were rare, and the scars proved she'd run while others had perished. Her own people whispered behind her back, their membrane-covered eyes filled with pity and disgust in equal measure. "All cadets, please enter the synchronization field," announced Proctor Javar, his tentacles undulating with ceremonial importance. Akeem watched as her classmates, Valorians, Thaxians, Cordelians, even the massive silicon-based Gorneks, stepped into the shimmering field with hope gleaming in their various optical organs. She'd been through this 3 times before. 3 times she'd stood in the field while potential partners approached, their expressions shifting from curiosity to discomfort as their neural scans detected her psychological scarring. Trauma, they said, made bonding unpredictable, dangerous. She almost didn't enter this time, but Academy regulations were clear. 4 refusals meant expulsion, so she stepped forward, letting the field's energy wash over her consciousness, opening herself to the possibility of connection she knew wouldn't come. Then she felt it. A presence, not probing or analytical like the others had been, but curious, warm. It approached her mental signature the way one might approach a wounded animal, with gentleness and respect, not pity. Akeem opened her eyes. A human stood before her. She'd heard of them, the new species that had recently earned their way into the Galactic Coalition through a series of impossible victories against the Zarthan Dominion. They were strange creatures, soft-skinned and fragile-looking, with bilateral symmetry and only 2 optical organs. This one was male, with dark hair that fell across his forehead and eyes the color of Earth's oceans. A planet she'd only seen in databases. "Hi," he said, his voice carrying a melodic quality that the translator couldn't quite capture. "I'm Harry, you're Akeem, right?" She nodded, unable to speak. Why wasn't he leaving? His neural scan must have shown her damage by now. The field was designed to reveal everything. "I felt your pattern in the field," Harry continued, stepping closer. "It's beautiful. Like a symphony that survived a storm, all the more powerful because of what it's endured, not despite it. You see my scars?" Akeem finally managed, her voice barely a whisper through her translator. "Yeah." Harry's gaze didn't flinch from the raised tissue that marked her face. "I see them. Do you know what I think when I look at them?" She shook her head. "I think that you survived something that would have destroyed most people. I think that whatever hell you went through, you came out the other side still standing, still fighting, still here."
"On my world, we have a saying. Scars are just tattoos with better stories." Akeem's breathing quickened.
"You don't understand. In the field, you must have sensed my trauma. The nightmares. The fear that never leaves. I'm broken." Harry laughed, not mockingly, but with genuine warmth. "Broken? Akeem, humans have been broken for our entire history. We've been burned, beaten, scattered across our planet in 1,000 different catastrophes. We've got anxiety, PTSD, depression. Our minds are a mess of evolutionary baggage and trauma responses. But you know what? That's what makes us dangerous in combat. We know fear intimately, so we know how to fight through it. We know pain, so we know how to endure. We know loss, so we know what we're protecting." He extended his hand, a human gesture she'd learned about. "My grandmother survived a war on Earth. She had scars on her arms from shrapnel and nightmares until the day she died. But she was the strongest person I ever knew. When I look at you, I don't see damaged goods. I see a warrior who's already won her hardest battle, the one against herself. Every single day she chooses to keep going." Akeem stared at his hand. Around them, other bonds were forming, clean, simple connections between undamaged minds. Safe partnerships, but safe had never saved her before. She reached out and took Harry's hand. The moment their skin touched, the bonding field flared brilliant gold, a color no one had seen in a synchronization before. Their neural patterns didn't just connect. They wove together like thread through fabric, her trauma finding spaces in his acceptance, his humanity bridging the gaps in her shattered confidence. Proctor Javar's tentacles froze mid-gesture. "Impossible," he breathed. "The synchronization rating, it's at 98%. That's the highest bond in Academy history." Akeem felt tears streaming down her face, mixing with the luminescent energy of the field. For the first time since the fire, someone had looked at her scars and seen strength instead of weakness. Someone had touched her broken places and found them worth keeping. "Partners?" Harry asked, grinning. "Partners," Akeem agreed, and felt something inside her chest, something she thought had died in the flames, spark back to life. Hope. The other cadets stared in amazement as the human and the scarred Valorian stood together, their bond blazing like a star. They didn't know it yet, but they were witnessing the beginning of a legend. Because when humanity bonds with the broken, when they see value in what others discard, they create something the galaxy has rarely seen. They create the unstoppable,